welcome back. Episode 2 of the FXRT rebuild. Quite a special one today. So yesterday I had the tins delivered from Jordon AP Customs. Super stoked with how these turned out. I didn't want to waste much time getting to it and getting the bike put back together. So yeah, welcome back. So just a quick piece on where we're currently at. So yeah, Jordon was kind enough to drop the parts back yesterday. I didn't waste any time putting some of the parts back on, and I wanted to save the fun stuff for today. So as you can see, I'm super impressed with the quality here. I mean, it's like this bike's just, when it's done, it will look like this bike's just rolled off production in 1982. Super chuffed with the quality that he's done. Top job here. So yesterday, what did we do? So yesterday we remounted the rear fender, re-terminated the tail light, probably spent about, no lie, about 90 minutes wrestling with the alignment for the bracket, the strut, the sissy bar mount, then the fender. So yeah, it was one of those, wrestling against it for about an hour, gave it a break, came back, eventually got there, but it was a struggle. So I'm sure nobody needs to see a time lapse of that. But yeah, now this is on, we can now go. So rear fender's on, side covers are back on, the harness for the rear has been re-terminated, tested that as well. So that all works. So we're good to go on the rear. I'm stoked that I never have to take this back off, although never say never. So what have we done since last time we spoke? So as I mentioned, this isn't OEM. These are JD Customs clamshells. Now actually, I sort of lucked out here. Had this have been OEM, I would have had to have changed the struts, and I would have had to have moved the shock position back. But because it's JD, it's more of a kind of retrofit, or true retrofit solution. So yeah, I kind of lucked out here. It was nice and simple. So just remove the shock bolt, slot these in behind, shock bolt back through, and then the strut mount for the fender goes through. And then on the underside, which was part of the reason I was wrestling with it for a while, you've got bolts that come through the other side, which pin it on the front here, and then we've got one down here also. So yeah, JD Customs brackets. You've got a support brace which runs through the middle here, and then the bags just go straight on top. So we've got 4 anchor points for each box. Moving up to the tank now. Originally, I was going to leave the tank for now. That's because I need to adapt the frame. Because it's an 82, it's not got the welded nuts to take the FXRT bracket, and I've got the dyno bracket, so there's going to be some fab needed on that to make it fit with this, and I'll explain a bit on that shortly. Luckily, on the other FXR, I've got a good reference point. Okay, so this is what I'm lacking on the shovel head. Got a couple of options for how I'm going to do that. I'm not overly stoked about welding some nuts onto the frame. Got a few ideas. So I was going to leave the tank off and you know, now the fairing's back, mess around with the bracket and kind of get this in situ before I put the tank back on. But actually thinking about it, I'm going to put the tank back. That's going to give me an idea of where everything sits and what potential mounting options that I've got. So yeah, we'll dress the bike back up today as she's supposed to be. So quite excited about that. I've moved the headlight just for now. I was sort of playing around with the bracket the other night. So yeah, we'll get her back to how she was. We'll get the clamshells back on. Fairing will be a day 2 tank today. Just a piece on this as well. I'm so stoked with how this has turned out. It's come a long way from episode 1, right? Jordon's done an absolutely incredible job with this fairing. It's going to look amazing once it's got the clear view windshield on it. So yeah, okay, that's enough talking from me. Let's get into it. Nice. So yeah, the clamshells went on with pretty much no issues whatsoever. Real happy with how these look. Just keep catching little angles of it, I think. Ooh. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so tank's fitted up now. I'm just going to put the dash back on, and that's kind of the bike almost done, right? Other than the fairing, put the seat back on, and then I'm going to have a look at how we're going to get this bracket. Now, as I said, on the FXR, there's some nuts from factory welded on here. I've had a few ideas, but again, not overly stoked on this idea. And like I said, we've got the dyno bracket. So actually, on the dyno, you have a through bolt here. This hangs behind the neck, which stops it from, which kind of takes the weight. There's nothing to lock it into place down below. Whereas on the FXR, we've got two mounting holes either side. Now I did offer this up before I put the tins back on, and this little tab here, this could actually be a blessing in disguise. I may keep this. I'll explain why in a sec. If I do, I'm going to have to notch some of this out just to make sure that it doesn't foul on the steering rack. But what I'm thinking is this little tab could help me out here. Now, originally I was thinking, did I want to kind of try and drill through the frame, which is the same as the tank mount, although where that would sit would actually be behind the tank, so that's not going to work. I was looking at potentially sharing this mount here with the tank, but actually looking at it now, I think that the only option I'm really going to have here is probably going to be welding those nuts. And luckily, I've got a good reference point in the other frame that's down there. So yeah, cool. Let's get the dash back on, seat done, and then that's us for now. Awesome. Infection, corruption, infection. Corruption! Infection! Buy whatever they sell you! Correction! Think whatever they tell you! Infection! Eat whatever they sell you! Correction! Do whatever they tell you! Force-fed bullshit out a lethal dose! They'll call it a gift! We consume it in droves! Feel the hot spit! Seething up through your throat! It's about to hit! Toxic vomit! A few things then. So, because of the grab handles, which is kind of mad, but the seat hinge is now not going to work. So, do away with the FXR seat hinge. I'll probably keep it just because that's super rare part to get hold of. So we'll have to revert back to the traditional method of mounting the seat. So at the minute, that's just sat on there just to give me some inspiration. Yeah, so really what's next then is getting the fairing mounted. As I said, I think really the only way is going to be trying to replicate as best as possible what Harley do from factory. So if we was to weld some weld nuts on here, probably like maybe like an M8, just something that's going to take the weight. Do this on either side. Adapt this bracket. So as I mentioned earlier, this lip here isn't on the FXR bracket. It's almost like a kind of straight piece rather than have this section on here. So mess around with these plates, weld up some nuts either side. Luckily, I've got a decent reference point in this one here, so that is kind of helpful. So it saves trying to guess things off the internet and whatever. So I think that's going to be the best option. But oh my god, guys, wow, I'm so impressed with how this has turned out. As I said, this has been about 3 years in the making. So to see it finally taking shape is so exciting. So yeah. What's up, guys? Yeah, so that concludes episode 2. Again, super stoked with progress on this bike now. It certainly feels like after all this time that the end is in sight. Stay tuned for episode 3. We will be tackling the bracket for the fairing, and eventually getting the fairing mounted on the bike, and then starting the rewire, which will be winter project, and then she'll be ready for the fresh spring roads next year. So thanks for watching, and speak to you guys soon. Peace.